All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 9:31. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over Lunenburg Public Access Channel. The recording of this meeting will be available on Lunenburg Public Access YouTube channel within 24 hours. So we are official. Do we have any announcements this morning? Okay, no. Do we have any public comment? Seeing no public, we will move on. Do we have any board comment?
Yes, I have one already. I'd just like to express my disappointment that no one from this COA is being allowed to be involved directly in the interview for the new director. When we elected or chose a new director 2 times ago, Kerry chose both our president and vice president, me and Gloria O'Brien, if you might remember, to do the interviewing, and she felt that she was not anywhere near in a position to choose someone to deal with the elders as people that work with them. And then the second time, when even though Sue was a foregone conclusion, Kerry had me also interview her. And I understand this time it's going to be done strictly by the new person in charge up there, without any of us, and I think that's disappointing.
Any other board comment?
Oh, I would like to welcome the Lunenburg residents to watch us on YouTube. This is our first meeting, being televised, and I think the goal was when I brought it up to make it that, you know, the townwide knows about what happens here, the good and the bad and the ugly, and just making, bring what happens here to the general population. So welcome, please follow us on Facebook. I don't know if we're going to be on Facebook, but definitely follow us on YouTube.
We're a fun group.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to support Pete's comments. I think that it would be a mistake not to have somebody from the council on the interview committee.
What I've been told is it's possible that I can be in the room as a fly on the wall.
It's
And
not the same.
I know, and that we are going to be allowed to submit questions, which we will do in executive session. But I will not be an active participant, as far as I've been told so far.
Can I ask who made that decision?
I believe it's Carter and Julie, and that was following the tradition that Heather set up. Carter doesn't want to break precedent, and Heather hired an HR person, and that's the way it's being done now. So I'm disappointed as well, but it's the way it is. So, I did speak with Carter one-on-one, and he did indicate that it's possible that I will have some input after the fact, but I won't be allowed to actively participate in the interview. That was Heather's policy. So,
And there's no comeback on that? I mean, those people don't know what goes on here. So, the decision is final?
that's what I was told.
Okay.
So we can certainly, as a group, perhaps as a result of this meeting, give a little pushback. I pushed back, and that was the decision after my pushback. If we as a council, when we submit our questions, express pushback as a council, perhaps that would be given some more weight. But
I would support that, getting the council as a group to support you being able to question potential candidate.
so maybe we can do that at this meeting. When we do our questions, we can also take vote as a support. Minutes approval, have you all had a chance to look at your minutes? Okay, do I have a motion to
So moved.
approve? A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving them?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Thank you, Michelle and Sue. All right. New business. Well, we've had some fits and starts on our Boston Post cane person. I guess I'll turn that over to Sue at this point. I spoke with Olga's daughter, and Sue's spoken with Olga's daughter, and I guess we finally have established, we were going to have an interview that didn't go as planned, but now I think we finally have a date and a celebration and a person, so.
We do. Olga's daughter contacted me, and she was very excited about having Olga Di Matasso as the next Boston Post cane recipient. Olga was excited also, and I guess she's been under the weather as of late, and we had set up to go to the house to film, and I got a call yesterday that that was not going to happen, and we were going to have to find another Boston Post cane recipient. Then another call from Olga's daughter again in the afternoon said they've reconsidered. They don't want to film at the house, but they still want to have the celebration, and Olga would be more than happy to accept it. So we'll have a celebration here on Monday, September 16th at 1 p.m. All are welcome to attend, and anybody at home who would like to attend are welcome to attend also. Olga's daughter will get in touch with me about the number of people, and what we typically do is coffee and cake and a couple of, citations, and maybe we can get the chairperson of the select board down to
Right.
give a citation or something from the select board, and I'll check with them on that. So that's Monday, September 16th at 1 p.m. for the Boston Post cane celebration.
So that will also be filmed by PAC, so folks that can't make it can watch it later on YouTube. So thank you to PAC for that. All right, moving on to the special town meeting article. So can you speak to that?
Yes, I do. So I've been working with the town accountant, Ezekiel, and we came up with an article for the special town meeting to get the revolving fund going to help support the kitchen in a more efficient way with funding. What we've come up with is, and here's my paper on that. Must be in my office. At any rate, $16,000 for a revolving fund account so that we can purchase food for the kitchen to make meals for the Lunenburg Adult Activity Center 3 days a week. This way, whatever monies that come in from the fees for the lunch will be turned back into the town at the end of the week, similar to what we do with the mart fares that come in. We have to do a turnover every week. So this will run much more efficiently, and hopefully at special town meeting this will pass, and we're still working on tweaking just a couple of things in it, but it looks good and it's pretty clean, and excited about doing this.
So everybody please show up for town meeting and vote for this. This is really important to get our elders funded for lunch, because we can't be relying on grants. We can't be relying on town support anymore. The money's just not there, so please show up and vote for this.
I have a question. So the initial 16,000 is going to come from town budget?
Yes,
Okay.
in a revolving
In
fund
the
type
revolving
situation,
fund,
yes.
so then it gets replenished. We can still apply for grants and put it towards this revolving fund, or then would the grant need to be
I think
worked
it's
separately?
the 16,000 is a set, like for instance with the mart revolving fund, I forget what the amount is, I think it's about 50, it's in the 50,000s.
Okay.
To reimburse, we pay the drivers out of that, and part of Michelle's salary out of that. And then Mark reimburses us. So this way, the receipts that we get in, we only charge $5 per person for lunch and $3 for breakfast. We'll reimburse that account. It's going, I put it up high because it's, one snow day can kill us on this, because we don't have the funds coming in. And this is why it hasn't been working with keeping it turning over weekly in a little slush fund going on here. And there needs to be better record keeping done too. I've been keeping records in Excel sheets, and it just, you know, sometimes people are just like, here's extra money, and this, that, and the other thing.
I guess my question is more on the, you know, would the town budget replenish that 16 every year?
Every year,
Okay.
yes.
So every year there will be a new line item that's going to be designated for the seniors.
Right.
For that, okay.
And then voted on it
At
town meeting,
meeting.
just like they do with the Mart revolving fund.
And also other funds, okay. And then, I guess, so this might be a little nuanced, maybe we can take offline, I'm sorry, just because I know a little bit about these things. Sometimes when you apply for grants for specific purposes, when the town receives it, because the town's already giving funds for that, they now can put it into general fund. So that's my question is, because I know you do a wonderful job applying for grants and so forth, that we're not creating a mechanism that now that grant that you apply will land in the general fund versus, you know, an account for.
Right, I won't apply for any grants for this.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you get grant money for a specific fund, especially for a senior meal, they should get it for free and not be charged for it.
Right.
And grants shouldn't be used to replenish the town funding for this because, you know, so it'll stay at 16,000.
Perfect.
And if that, you know, this is the first time we've done that, and if that doesn't pan out, if we find it needs to be more, we'll have to go back to Maytown meeting.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on that? All right, and hopefully that will go through. So turn out the vote to support it, please. All right, Council on Aging Director interviews. We spoke about this a little bit already. Sue and I met with Julie and Carter to go over the job description for the new director. And this is when this situation came up about who would be interviewing for this. So I'm going to defer this, I think, to our executive session, unless you'd like to take a vote on this now to support someone from the council being there. You want to vote on it now, or do you want to?
I move we do that.
I second that.
All right. Is there any more discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor of sending some, we'll put it in the form of, how would you like to word it?
I move that we have a representative of the COA present and active in the interview for the new director.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, we will formulate that as part of our question executive session. All right? Okay, thank you. All right, current business. Update on the COA budget requests for fiscal year '26.
Well, it doesn't look good. But that doesn't mean I'm still not going to move forward if I get the budget information in time before I retire in December, to make the request to increase the hours for the meal site manager. I think originally we had requested 24 hours.
Right.
And so we'll bump that up a couple more hours.
Right.
To 26 and see how that goes. And who knows, hopefully people look favorably upon it. I am currently working on a director's handbook type thing for the new person coming in on what we've been working on and what I've been working on, where to find the information and what we have on the books in the future that haven't been taken care of yet. So I will make sure that when I meet with the new director, he or she will be informed of everything that I've been doing, so.
My meeting with Carter pretty much said the same thing, that the town is not in great shape at this moment, and we are not the top level for funding, so it's important that we continue to make ourselves known, continue to make our needs known. So one of the things that we can do is make ourselves available to the public, and I'm remiss, I should have introduced us to our new viewing public. So I am Debbie Lincoln, I'm the chairman of the Council on Aging, and
Susan Doherty, the director of the Lunenburg Council on Aging.
You want to get older?
sure,
Pete Lincoln?
Susan O'Sullivan?
Anna Lockwood.
Jim McWigan.
and our vice chairman, Jane Rabbit, is not with us today.
Elena Christopher, Helen Balcom,
Kathy Beal.
Diane Nowd.
Judy Tarabell.
Thank you, everyone.
And Michelle is not with us today either, the administrative assistant who takes the minutes.
That's the cast of characters.
So if you have any concerns about our elders, please contact any one of us. We'll be very happy to help you. So,
I want to add, I know we're just finishing up the conversation with budget. You know, and Debbie, you mentioned the town is, you were given the message that the town is not in great financial shape. I'm going to disagree with everyone who keeps saying that, because that's a very easy narrative to have, and so that we don't confront the issues as they are. And I think that's something we need to start talking about. The town is in good financial shape, and I'm very familiar with our budget, and we can talk about it. We are talking, you know, Heather on the last budget, she was asked to see if she had more funds available, and she did tap into, she overestimated a little bit of fees that were coming in, and she overestimated a little bit on, she did use some free cash, which is usually not the best practices, but this free cash was used for one-time uses, like buying computers for the school. You know, we are in good financial shape. Every year, for the past, well, this past year, we had almost $1.5 million in free cash. The year before, we had $2.5 million in free cash. The year before that, we had around 1.5. And that's free cash that's left over from operations, that's free cash that has come in and has not been budgeted. That's not a bad position to have. It is a little difficult because when you're creating a budget, you want to create a budget with recurring sources. But if every year you have that much money, you know, maybe we need to start changing our budget practice to realize where that money is coming from and start putting that money where it should go. But, you know, I don't want to get too much into how town managers create budgets, but we are not in bad financial shape. And to use that as an excuse to not support different groups in town, I'm just going to start having that narrative. So anyone who tells me that, they're going to hear this bill. That's all right. Thank you.
Good, let's ask for more money.
We should.
Good country.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm telling you what I'm being told.
I know.
And I think we need to make a lot of noise.
And every time I hear that, I'm just going to give the spiel again.
All right, good to hear that. Okay. Are we finished with budget requests? Do you have any more to say about that?
Nope.
Okay. 300, we just met last night. Mr. Lincoln, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes, we met again last night. I just would like to say about the 300th celebration. I was on the 250th and the 275th, so that tells you how old I am. And we started each of those meetings 2 years before the event. This year we started 5 years before. The parade literally is 4 years from today, September 10th, 2028. So what we've been talking about last night was maybe we're a little premature in what we're doing, and trying to just think of long-range projects that we can work on. Let me tell you one that you might be interested in. The town of Athol put up 24 historical signs around town where different things had happened. And we've got the idea to do the same thing in Lunenburg and mark places, both historic and fairly recent, with metal signs. We got permission on how to do it from the DPW. Prisoners make the signs, by the way, just like they do license plates. And then for the police department, how to get permission to put them down. Just as for instance, Wayland Playhouse would be one. Dickens's Reservoir would be one. This place,
Bellows
House, would be one. We came up with a list of about 25 different places we've been assigned to do. And what that involves is not only getting the signs, the wordage on the sign. Someone had an idea last night that you could put one of those little things that you could read, get further information about the signs, what they refer to, and then wordage, and then get permission to place them all around town. That project takes more than a little while. And so that's the kind of thing we're working on. Otherwise, I don't think the COA needs to really start worrying about it until about 2027. So I'll report back then.
So maybe that can come off our agenda.
Yes, that will make it on the agenda.
Other than, we solicited the Proctor family, next time they're excavating, or anytime they're excavating, if they come up with a potato-sized boulder for the backyard, to please donate it, so we can have a Luther Burbank potato
They're looking for a
boulder.
Proctor Rock.
Proctor Rock for the Luther Burbank Potato Memorial out in the backyard. So other than that,
You should ask Brett Ramsden to keep his eyes out too.
good idea. But this is gonna be, I mean, when they're excavating, they come across boulders, they don't
Get a
want.
big
Yeah.
boulder, then you smooth it off with a plow.
Yeah. So other than that,
Proctor Rock.
all right, that could come off the agenda. The mock resource guide, I think that, please keep looking at that, take notes. I want everybody to be here to discuss that.
I had a
The
question
MCOA.
about that. So I know you requested feedback from us, and I was reading it. I made a point to read most of it last night. But one thought that I had was, Sue, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's great.
Do you think it's missing something? Do you think it does describe the role of the COA and, interaction with you in terms of the entity?
Right.
Do you feel like what we do represents what's there, what's missing?
I think that these are the people that are writing the book on everything. They have a lot of professionals doing this. Pauline and I went to a conference down at Holy Cross, and this is where I got this, and they are the experts on this. And this also, when we got this, they did say that this was like their first draft at it, and they're still going to make changes to it. But they wanted to present it to all the Council on Aging people that were there. So I think it's great. I really do. I think it's clean. It's people can, you can do your own Lunenburg Council on Aging resource guide that we're doing for board members to include what happens in Lunenburg. But I would definitely draw from this publication right here. And it has, the acronyms and all the places, the websites to go and everything like that. It's so much cleaner than what we were working with before. And it's all right there. I mean, when I walked in and I saw this, I went, oh boy, they just finished ours.
I know, we just finished
And I went through it and I was like, yep. But I think it's a good guide to go through and tweak the Lunenburg one with what you find in here, because this is basically official.
Will we be receiving an update as they do it?
Yes, it could be slow because we know how that all works, it's still government. But, so this was May 1st, people were commenting on it down at Holy Cross, and you know, giving opinions on different things in it, so I'm sure that it will be changed at some point. When, I don't know.
My only comment is that we've not been good about keeping up with the financial part of it. And Sue does a wonderful job about presenting things to us, but it indicates in here that we are supposed to be much more of a financial advocate than I think we've been. That would be my comment, but I think we should go through this as a board at some point when people have had more chance. Helen said she hasn't had a chance to look at it, so everybody really take a chance, make some notes, and when we're all ready, we should discuss this further. The volunteer recognition cookout is coming up fast, and I guess, Helen, are you going to coordinate the baskets, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is everybody prepared to say whether they're doing a basket or not?
I
And
think everybody's committed.
everybody's
Yeah,
committed?
so, yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
do we want to just check in with Helen and let her know what?
Well, I'll work with Sue
Okay,
to be here on the day of and work before the recognition luncheon to get it set up.
do you need anything ahead of time, or just the commitment from us that we're doing something?
No, some people have given their gifts and some people are bringing them on the day.
Okay, so you're all set with everything?
Yes.
You don't need anything else from us?
I'm going to go through them today with Sue after this meeting
Okay,
and I'll let you know,
okay,
okay?
all right, great. All right, so that's a lot of things to give up.
There is a lot.
Yeah.
There
We
is
have
a
a
lot.
lot.
There's a lot, right now, we have approximately 110 people committed to coming to this that have signed up for it.
That's great.
I've had to put a waiting list out there in trying to figure out how to do this. I'm trying to get, save the spots for the volunteers, and they're coming in late. So I think we have about 20 volunteers that have signed up right now. So, and I want to make sure that there's enough food. I've ordered all the hamburgers and hot dogs. I've got more chairs ordered. We have a big double tent coming. The Singing State Trooper will be here. I went out and kind of basically plotted out where the tables and chairs and make sure everybody's got a seat. And if anybody wants to come at 1 o'clock for the trooper and not the barbecue, they're more than welcome just to do that too. You will not have to sign up for that. We just need to have a head count for the food because we do not want to run out of food.
Right.
I am planning for a little bit more than I should, but that's also going to be expensive too.
Do you need us to be here before 11:30?
That would be helpful.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Does she want us to be here before 11:30?
Oh, sure.
I could
Yeah.
use
What
a
time?
hand with setting up chairs.
What time would you like us
We'll
here?
be-
9 o'clock?
Okay. You got it?
9 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
Sue, I know Chris Ruth has folding chairs now, if you need just chairs.
No, we've got tables here. I rented 100 chairs. I don't think he has 100 chairs.
He has 60.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need extra, like last minute, just reach out to him.
So he's got 60 of the folding chairs?
He
Okay.
has a donation from the old parish building. The new owners didn't have use for them, so they donated to the facilities.
Okay. What are they, metal or?
Metal.
Okay.
They're actually at the gym. If you walk, when you walk at the gym at the TCP,
Okay.
and you look to the right, there's at least one rack there.
Okay. I'll talk to him because I'd be more than happy to cancel my order for the 100 chairs.
Well, it's more of if you need extra, and I'm letting you know because I think.
Yeah, no, because I have like 30 myself. Yeah, I know. I'd like to cut the cost back,
Sure.
but that's not gonna happen, so I guess this is gonna go off with a big bang, so. So police and fire are going to be doing the cooking. We can, the way I'm thinking, there won't be any certificates. Deb and I are gonna get together and discuss how we're going to do that. I have members from Executive Office of Elder Affairs coming out. All three of our state delegations said they will be here. So we're gonna try and keep this on a good timeline, because the state troop is gonna be here at about 9:30 in the morning, because he has a lot of equipment to set up, and he said we can use his PA system to do all the announcements and things like that.
That's good.
The ice cream truck will be here, the supporters will get the bulk of this, that they will be paying for, and we're just gonna take it from there. I've got it all mapped out where I want things out back, and I think it'll work out really good. And I'm not gonna say that four-letter word of rain, which I just did, but
Macbeth.
but you know what, we'll be in good shape, because there's a double tent, people can come inside, people can sit under the tent and listen to the trooper, and under the other tent, and we'll be fine, we will be fine.
My weather app is showing no rain, but that's a long ways away.
You know what, I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. Do your non-rain dance. All right, ARPA submissions.
ARPA submissions,
We got, are they here yet?
who?
The Adirondacks, are they here yet?
No, because I'll get to that, why? So the ARPA submissions that were approved, I got the POs because they wanted them spent immediately, but I have no vendor for sail shades for $2,000. Yeah, and so that didn't happen. And so we withdrew that from the ARPA submissions, and I spoke with the facilities manager, Chris Ruth, and he thought that maybe we could put that in capital plan for next year. And in the meantime, we had a phone conference, Chris and I, with the sail shade people up in New Hampshire. And for the amount that we're looking for, that's going to be doable for our back in order to give coverage, because they're gonna have to also do the small patio where we have the rented tents over now, the bocce court, the horseshoe pit, and the shuffleboard court. The amount came in between $50,000 and $60,000. So, this is going to be a work in progress, because if we want to do this, we want to do it correctly. They did tell us that, they're in the ground securely with big, secure posts that have to be drilled down. They will come at the end of the season and take them down for us and store them, because we don't have any place to store them. They're not New England weather resistant in the winter with snow load. And he said you don't want to put them someplace that they're not in a big covered container, because the mice will eat them, even though they're made of a different, mice eat anything, they do. And so that was some information that was very informative. So what they're doing, that was a ballpark figure they gave us. They're gonna come back with an official quote. Chris had given them his drone footage of the backyard area, because they wanted that. We had taken pictures and we took measurements, DPW came over and took measurements, and they will get back to us with an official quote of what they can do for us. And if that's not good, we can always find another company too.
So, these would not cover the sod, right?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't want to cover the
No,
sod.
we don't want to, right,
Need
exactly.
sun and rain.
Yeah, no, they would go, the one over the horseshoe pit, the way they described it to us, wouldn't be like a sail shade. It would be more like a shade, because you don't want people throwing horseshoes up and hitting the shades.
No.
So it would have to be something a little different. The bocce and the shuffleboard would be like two big shades, and they would use a post to connect more shades to the long skinny ADA patio back there. So it's a big project, and I had a feeling this was gonna happen, because after I had spoken with the library director at their little sitting area outside, I'm pretty sure he had told me that he got a quote of $25,000 for that small area. So it's not like they're overinflating what they're telling us, we have a huge area to cover.
That $50,000 is not an outrageous figure. I mean,
No,
it's a lot
it's
of
not.
money, but for what you're looking for.
Exactly.
It's in the ballpark.
And if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right,
Yeah.
you want it to look good.
And where
And
we'll store that
And
includes
And
the
them to
storage.
take down and bring it back, that's huge with storage. Yeah, I know, exactly. So that's what happened with that, so we're still working on that. The kiosk and the 2 chairs were submitted, and they were approved, but unfortunately, the freight and the shipping wasn't included, which was on the back of the quote.
So we gotta go get it?
No, it had to go back in again to include the freight and the shipping, and they approved it, and I'm waiting, I talked to Ezekiel the other day, and he's getting me a new PO. So the company's ready to go,
Okay.
and I left a message with him, and they're out in Indiana. I left a message on his voicemail early this morning, I'm sure he was still in bed, but, and I said, we're good to go, I just need to get their PO number and send me the information again, and we'll have them here. And they're usually pretty quick, I would say 4 weeks anyways, before the snow flies.
Another 4-letter word.
Yes, exactly, snow and rain.
That's a real 4-letter word. All right. Okay. All right, capital plan.
Okay, the generator.
The what?
Well, it's good news, the generator is in, but it's not here, because we need to have the fuel tank installed first, which is coming on the 15th.
Oh, we're making
Okay?
progress.
We're making progress.
Wow.
The fuel tank will be here on the 15th.
The alleged
And then it just
generator.
moves forward from there. Everything is gonna fall right in place. Everything's done out there, it's all prepped, and the cement pad isn't there yet, but it's coming. But the fuel tank will be here and installed on the 15th.
So we will have it for the winter season.
Yes. Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
And and this building will be the shelter place for,
Well, it won't be an overnight, because we need to have a shower in order for it to be an overnight shelter, and that's a whole other animal. And all handicap accessible. My idea for that, when that comes along, was to take the old bathroom back there and retrofit it into one big shower toilet room. But this is a historical house, and the door jambs are not adequate to get wheelchairs in there and turn around. So that is gonna have to be looked at when that time comes. But right now, we'll have a generator so that the sprinklers don't burst like they did in the ice storm downstairs. The fire suppressant system down there, when the power goes out, you have to go down and manually make sure that it's not overfilling, and that wasn't done during the big ice storm. And the basement was flooded and things froze, and that was a nightmare. So that won't be happening with the generator, so that's a plus. The roof repair, the bids came in. They were over what the capital plan had in their budget, because that was put in what year? So, exactly. But the low bid was not that much over, and the facilities manager and the interim town manager are working together to try and get together the funds that will cover it, so they can get that roof repaired. Well, it's not, doesn't need to be repaired, it needs to be redone because it's well over 20 years old. And we've had issues with it in the past and have patched it, so we're just gonna do the whole thing over.
can I ask what year capital plan item was approved?
I wanna say it was before COVID, maybe 2018,
jeez.
2019.
Yeah, okay. Because one of the ways to get money is within the capital plan, let's say the total amount was it was usually like 1.5 million. If there are other projects that haven't been executed or done, is to the discretion of the town manager to use those funds and allocate for others that were approved within the same year budget, so.
Right, that's what they're doing. They're,
Okay.
they're looking for the money, and they're pretty sure that they can cover it, so. But
So when might it actually be done? Like this fall?
before the snow falls.
Before the snow falls.
We've had it done during snow before, so.
Okay.
My son's a roofer. He works all year long.
Don't say snow.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Let's see, parking lot. Do you wanna take that, or? Okay. So I spoke to facilities manager again, and, Ms. Lincoln had given them, the plans for the old parking lot just to go by and see, and they're not usable. They can't go by that, cause everything has changed out there.
Which cost the supporters $15,000.
Yep.
I had several people take a look at them, several architects. And I said, look, can't you even use, the drainage or any of the surveys? And I got a resounding no from 3 people, including Chris Ruth. So Chris has scanned them into the system so that they're archival, I guess, to say the best.
Those are a
So
lot of good.
we do have them, they are extant. But when 3 people say, forget it, I guess we have to say forget it.
I came across a ledger the other day of a picture of me standing in the back with the ground had just been removed, going like this, hallelujah, now we can have a parking lot. The date was 2012.
So,
But,
How long have we been talking about that, Judy?
Ever since I've been on this council.
so is Chris Ruth going to put forward a request for engineering money for capital?
he is, he's going to talk to Dillis and Roy to see if they can maybe donate some time towards this, and he's going to put forth a request.
So there will be a request from Chris Ruth on capital plan for this year.
No.
Oh,
that's-
he had one last year, why is he pulling back? Like last year, there was a capital plan request for 50,000 for engineering money.
We had, McCarty Engineering, when we were doing the backyard there for the rec area, he did a rough,
He's,
a very rough, plan for out there. There was no costs included in it or anything like that. I think the $50,000 was kind of like maybe $50,000, and capital plan doesn't operate like that.
Chris-
You wanna know?
Chris does not want to use McCarty again.
Yeah.
No, I hear that, but that money was in par with what other engineering costs I've seen around town.
He was going to talk to Dillis and Roy, and that's.
Yeah,
the
he
last
needs
thing.
a firm, the plan that the other engineering firm gave us was not good.
No, I hear
Yeah.
that, but it's more about the capital plan request.
Right.
It was there last year, it was there the year before, why won't he put in this year?
I don't think it was in there.
It was.
It was?
It was because I was sitting with Chris Ruth when he was doing his presentation, because I was with Parks, and I was there to speak for the Parks request.
Because every time we've gone, it's been like, we need,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that's what they've said. I'll have to get back with Chris because.
right, we're just
The
gonna have to hear
last,
with him
the
on
last
that.
I heard was he was going to go to Dillis and Roy, talk with them, and I haven't heard back, so we'll see.
I mean, I just would like him to keep the request
Right.
that he has had, and not change that request, because that request was just
I'm gonna
engineering
check
money
with that and
for
see what-
50,000, and you should just keep it, because what happens on the capital plan is they have the year they put their request,
Yeah,
and when they're evaluating, they do look how long this request's been there, have they made progress since the last time? That's always what they do. They go, okay, it was here last year, why didn't we approve? We didn't approve because of X, Y, and Z. So if we lose that thread, now next time we put it in, it's going to be 3 years later, and that's gonna have 0 years.
all right, let me check back with him, because the last, when we spoke with him, he was gonna speak with Dillis and Roy and get back to us, and I'll need to update with
Yeah,
him.
he just needs to keep the request there.
Okay. Okay, I'll find out.
New flooring in the center. I asked Chris if he could put in capital plan requests, we need to do new floors in the main foyer section, in this room here. We gotta get rid of that carpeting out there. We just had money spent on it for cleaning, and a month later, there's a giant stain in the middle of it again because of coffee and people tracking things in on wheeled things and stuff like that. So Chris is going to see if he can get some people in here to look at giving an estimate on some kind of vinyl, like Townsend has over there. I don't even know what to call it, a vinyl flooring, hardwood looking planking, yes. I mean, these tiles are all separating in this room, and if you look down in the corner under that window under there, it's just coming apart. The red tile out there should be fine to keep, but the carpeting throughout should just go. I mean, I know you can get carpeting where you can replace, you can get it in like the library does and have replacement pieces, but this is just not, you're just gonna be replacing it constantly in this building, just by way of what goes on here. The big room, eventually get that done also, but in the meantime, and I'm just gonna jump down to that, they are going to be re-waxing that big floor out there and stripping it down completely. But there's also spots on that, there's cracked tiles out there too. So whether he has that done completely and have that room also, I'll have to ask him about that too. But in the meantime, we're talking about the carpeting and the flooring in here too.
It would be really nice if you had the vinyl plank flooring to match all the spaces.
Exactly.
You know, if you could get that all done at the same time,
Yes.
that'd be ideal.
No, I agree. I mean, it's time because this place takes a lot of wear and tear. It really is.
So Chris last year put in a request to change one of his line items within his budget, specific for TCP. And TCP now has very limited use, and I think that was about $60,000. And on top of that, that's just for maintenance of the building. And on top of that, in utilities, we probably spent another $60,000 to $80,000 a year on TCP. This building gets way more use by the community than TCP does. TCP has very specific uses and it's not open to the community. I would like to pass it on through you, Sue. What are the expenditures that we have had in the past from our regular budget to maintain the building, and ask, what is going to be his budget for maintaining this building that gets a lot of use?
I can do that.
Okay. Because, if we are putting $60,000 just to maintain a building that, it's not getting used, so like the building needs to be maintained on wings that we don't use, and it's not open necessarily to the public, and here we are, we're pretty close to a community center. And what is the budget for this building? Because not everything should be a capital plan. Capital plan it's a minimum of $20,000, and there are certain things that should, waxing the floor.
What does it cost for the Brooks House?
Yeah, that's my question.
If you had the numbers added to the request, like how many people actually come through the doors
Yeah,
annually,
right.
that would, I
What
think.
she does in her report.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you re-emphasize that in your budget request.
Right.
How could they,
Because,
they have to recognize
yeah, and
it.
the things that I'm hearing is not even like it's building maintenance, like.
Well, we don't have a maintenance budget, it's the facilities that takes care of it, so that would have to go over to him.
Right.
They take care of all the electric and the water and the sewer bills and all that stuff. We used to do that, and then it just got like insane with Unitil and
Right.
having to figure out,
Right.
guesstimate what you're gonna need each year for
So
Unitil.
a bunch of facilities.
Yeah.
But
Which makes sense.
is
Yeah.
flooring part of that, facilities?
Is what?
Flooring.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't, I don't have a budget for that. I have a budget for salaries, programs, supplies, mileage, postage, meetings, schooling, if we need to take classes in something. longevity pay. And there might be something else in there, but I think that's basically what it is. The facilities, he's taking care of this building, the Passios, and the town buildings, and the police department building. So actually, I think I'm meeting with him this afternoon, so. Well, it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, that's ready for it. Good point.
Let's see, the kitchen. Chris is also talking to Monty Tech again, because bumping out the kitchen to make it bigger is very long-term, especially if we're dealing with parking lot and doing, construction costs back there, so that is just gonna be right off of my agenda because I won't be here, so. But anyway, so I guess they have a new person at Monty Tech, and he's talking to them again about getting the cabinets and the counters replaced out there.
Oh, so
yes.
that's back in the picture?
That's back in the picture again.
Okay.
So at least, the linoleum, whatever it is on the countertops
Yeah.
won't be sticking off, you won't be catching yourself on it and things, and cabinets won't be falling off the walls and things like that. Sail shades we talked about
So
already.
going back to the kitchen,
Yep,
would that possibly be this school year?
I hope so, but that's what we hope every year. They've already started, and I'll ask Chris again today what the progress is on that with his talks.
Didn't they say that they weren't available last year or something?
They did.
Yes.
There was something happened, like they lost a cabinet instructor and
Okay.
things like that, but I think they've straightened that out this year, so that's why talks are ongoing again. I'm making a Chris list. My Christmas list. Anyways, Bocce Court is finished. They finished it Saturday. There were 14 volunteers out there slinging hammers, and they actually added a removable part of the wall to make it ADA compatible for people who don't want to step over.
Nice.
But the bocce purists out there want that wall on there when you're playing.
Oh, yeah.
But it comes out very easily, it comes out, and the scoreboard, the Mario Patacchiola scoreboard, Mike Nault has that, and he's going to redo it and refresh it, and instead of a plaque, we're gonna have Mario's name on that.
Great.
Great.
So, I'm just glad that's done.
Yes.
The outdoor electrical, the conduits are there, but they need to dig to find out where, by the shed. So we're gonna do that again. So, I'm gonna push to have that done before the snow flies.
It's five things you mentioned.
I know, oh, sorry, that word again, that bad word.
So, but the pavilion is?
Pavilion's all set, everything
Pavilion's
works.
all set at the pavilion?
Yeah, except for the cupola, that's not lit yet.
Okay. So it's just the shed that's?
It's the shed,
Okay.
and on other parts of the building too, so
Okay.
it will light up. Window washing, these windows are horrible. I asked for someone to come in and give us estimates. Somebody did come, Chris got somebody to come, and he's giving estimates. But they are gonna, I walked the man through the building, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere, and it's just too much. They have those inserts that don't come out of the windows.
Yeah.
You know what a pain that is to wash? So hopefully we'll have nice sparkly windows in time for the holidays and Thanksgiving and all that stuff.
So we can see the snow better.
I know.
Back to the snow?
We don't want to see.
We want to see the fall leaves. It looks really pretty. I mentioned the main function room floor waxing. That's going to be done this weekend. The pollinator garden has been kind of chopped down a bit. Now that we have Lakeview Landscaping here, he wants to work with them. on helping them do it, not just throw stuff out there, because that berm that goes up when we want to put the russet potato rock is Mark Bursch from Lakeview seems to think that he'd rather have that berm stay grass because it's easier for his guys to maintain. Because the pollinator garden is gonna have to be maintenance-free plants because we really don't have anybody to do that. So they're on hold, and I talked to Ginny Alberts from the pollinator garden. She was absolutely thrilled to find out that Lakeview will be helping her out
Great.
and giving advice on it. So it should be happening by the end of fall, I hope, because she'd like to get some. We're gonna scale it back to the top of the berm and have more flowers instead of ground cover up there. Okay.
Before you move on, for buildings and grounds,
Mm-hmm.
you and I talked just briefly about some way of darkening the main room.
Oh, yes.
Have you thought about that any further? We've been holding some movies and some events in the main room, and there's a lot of light coming into that room. So it's hard to see movies or presentations sometimes in there when it's a bright sunny day. So we had talked about maybe finding compatible shades or something for that room so we can darken it down if necessary.
I have a grant that came in from Community Foundation. Let me check, there's some criteria to it. I'm thinking it might be building improvement included in it maybe. But I don't want to say that it's absolute, but I'm going to check on it again.
Okay.
You'd be talking like electric shades?
Yes, because we can't
Yeah,
get up to
we
the
can't
shop
get-
windows.
yes,
Yeah,
That would be great.
and something for the door that leads out to the patio,
Yeah,
because that's
it's a
really
great
bright.
addition.
And the 2 times.
Yeah.
It's too bad we saw Brookwood in there, and I used to teach film, and photography is one of the key things in a movie, and if it's just faded out, all you can hear is the sounds, it spoils the film.
Yeah,
Right. And a lot of the films that have been done recently are intentionally dark.
Yeah,
right.
very dark.
Yeah, so, and especially for
Always.
especially for seniors, I think it's hard to absorb the film if you're squinting to try to see what's going on. And so you need the they're made to be seen in the dark theater.
Absolutely.
So it makes it hard to show these movies. So that would be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, upcoming events, we talked about the Boston Post Cane already, which is September 16th at 1 p.m. Volunteer cookout, September 20th, beginning at 11:30 a.m. We have Therapy Gardens coming in to do fantastic fall soups on September 23rd at 11 a.m. Our last pavilion concert outdoor, which I added for Monday, September 23rd. We're having a Side Effects band, which they're really good. The singer in the band is the director from the Harvard Council on Aging, but they're really cool. They are really good. So anybody that wants to come, please come. That'll be the last one. And the tent company said he'd leave the tent up until that day, so, and not charge us anything extra for it. Representative Scarsdale's office hours here, September 23rd, between 3 and 4 p.m.
It's a busy day.
It is a busy day. We're having, a local Lunenburg resident came in, and she's involved in the Big Brothers and Big Sisters program, and she's gonna come in and do a presentation. They're looking for people to help out on September 27th at 1 p.m. and explain to people if anybody's interested in becoming a big brother or a big sister. Please come to that program at 1 p.m. on September 27th. Zumba will begin again at TC Pasio's Gymnasium on September 27th at 1 p.m. That's a 6-week session. That will cost $25 to the instructor from the participants. And we pick up the tab for the rest of it in my programs and budget. balance class with Deb Arsenault, September 30th at 9:30 a.m. That's a once-a-month class, very popular. People love that class. She comes in and does great stuff. Unfortunately, we can only get her once a month. Maybe in the future we can add some more. She does other things too. On October 9th, Blue Cross Blue Shield program on health plan options, because it's open enrollment time. So if people have questions about your health plan options, please come to that. It's very informative, especially if you're just turning 65. Give us a call, 978-582-4166, and sign up for that program.
When is pickleball starting?
That starts the beginning of November.
Okay.
And it will be on Mondays and Fridays, but we have to wait until after the election because they have to set up the
Right.
machines in there, and that runs until the end of April. And they don't do it during school holidays and things like that.
You said, I'm sorry, what days of the week?
Mondays and Fridays. Pickleball, don't quote me on that. I'll have to look at that again. It might be Mondays and Thursdays. Or Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Or Wednesdays.
There's a lot going on.
Middle of November.
That's for November. Eagle House supporters, they will be meeting this Friday here for their annual meeting. I do not have any updates on that, but I'm sure I will have information for you. I'm going there to do my annual plea for funding, which I will be asking for $15,000 from them for the year to do. What they do is they sponsor the Memory Cafe, they sponsor the entertainment, they sponsor a lot here. So hopefully they will support that request. I've never had a problem with them not, so I will let you know on that.
All right, any notices, communications, anybody hear from anybody?
I reached out to Senator Cronin, and I heard back from one of the women that works in his office. And as we all know, the Sugar Valley has closed. And we were a little concerned about what actually happens when somebody calls for an ambulance. And so the person I spoke to there was Ken Jones, and he says now their policy is if somebody calls 911, they take them to the Leominster Hospital. If they do not want them, if they don't want to go to Leominster Hospital, I was told that they can ask if they can go to Clinton Hospital. And he said that they would try to make that happen for people. If it's a case of something like cardiac arrest, then no fooling around. They go directly to UMass Medical Center in Worcester. And so that's their current policy right now.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because there are no cardiac services at Clinton and
No,
no
correct.
cardiac group at
Correct.
My
Leominster
husband
left, so there's no cardiac
They started
services.
they have a new office there now. They're
At
sending
Leominster?
two at Leominster. Someone close to me has an appointment Monday. They are sending in two cardiologists from UMass Worcester, and they're going in each a couple days
Okay.
a week. Same office. I'm
So
not
that's
sure
a
how
plus.
long it has been, but it is open now.
Okay.
That's good.
Why wouldn't they send them to Concord?
I have no idea. That's a decision that, they made and what they felt like they could handle.
But that's great information, especially now
It's
that
really
we're
great
radio recording, so
information.
thank you,
You're
Elena.
welcome.
That is
Thank
good
you.
information.
Because knowing that you can ask,
Right.
it's I know it's an emergency, but just having that information in the back of your mind, if you need, make that request.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
That's different information from what Blue Cross sent out, so
I know.
thank you, that's much more,
Yes.
that's much better.
Reassuring?
Yes. Yes. All right, anything else? All right, so if you turn over, do we have any other board comment?
I'd just like to thank PAC. I think that getting out to the public what we do here is valuable. And this is episode 1, year 1. And I hope there's many more. And thank you, Kayla.
Yeah, there will be a new playlist now on
That's
YouTube
That's right.
on their back.
All right, any other board comments? All right, we have an upcoming meeting. Next meeting is Tuesday, October 8th at 9:30. And do I hear a motion to enter executive session to talk about our questions? I will read that. The motion is to enter executive session, not to return to open session after exiting executive session. Pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A, Paragraph 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel. I have to read that.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn to his executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in executive session. Thank you, Kay.